What if every outcome in your life, your money, your body, your relationships, came down to one invisible dial? That dial has 7 levels, and most people live and die on level 1 without ever knowing the dial exists. Today, we climb every level, from the person drowning in the snooze button to the person who wakes up free at 45. Fair warning, you will see yourself somewhere on this climb. Stay to the end. Your level is not a life sentence. Level 1. The snooze button life. The alarm fires. The hand reaches out. 9 more minutes. Then 9 more. Then the panic hits. The day starts late, starts frantic, starts from a deficit it never recovers from. But the snooze button was never the real problem. It is a symptom of something running much deeper. At level 1, your brain negotiates every single commitment before your feet even touch the floor. Gym today? Maybe tomorrow. The side project? This weekend. Each surrender is so small, it barely registers. But stack 365 of those tiny surrenders together, and you get a year identical to the last one. Understand this. The level 1 person is not lazy. Their brain has never been shown proof that waking up changes anything. Every freedom you have ever wanted is sitting on the other side of that snooze button. But you cannot get there from here. Not yet. Level 2, the motivated starter. And this level feels absolutely incredible. For exactly 11 days. New journal, new shoes, new playlist. You tell your friends, you post about it. The momentum feels unstoppable. For a week and a half, you are a different person. And you believe, this time, it is finally permanent. Then Wednesday of week 2 arrives. Work was brutal. Your bed becomes the most reasonable option on the planet. And the negotiation returns. Just this once. I will double down tomorrow. The collapse begins in silence. Here is why level 2 is more dangerous than level 1. Every collapse quietly teaches you to distrust your own word. You start believing you are simply not built for consistency, that other people have something you were not given. That belief is a lie, and it is the most expensive lie you will ever be sold. Because the difference between you and the consistent people was never willpower, it was architecture. And that brings us to level 3. Level 3, the system builder. This is where the game actually changes, because you stop trusting how you feel. The system builder knows willpower is a battery. It drains by 2 in the afternoon, every afternoon, for everyone. So they stop asking willpower to do the heavy lifting, and they make the right behavior the easiest behavior in the room. Gym clothes on the chair, phone in another room, meals prepped on Sunday. The decisions get made the night before. Because at level 3, you finally understand, tomorrow morning's you is not the person who should be making decisions. The next morning, discipline stops feeling like a fight. It feels like following a trail you laid for yourself in advance. Gratitude to a past version of yourself is one of the strangest and most powerful feelings discipline ever produces. The system builder finishes more in 1 month than the motivated starter finishes in a year. Not talent, architecture. Level 4, the identity shift. Somewhere along the way, something breaks inside you and rebuilds as something stronger. Your habits stop being things you do. They become expressions of who you are. The language in your head changes. You stop saying, "I am trying to get fit." You start saying, "I am someone who trains." That sounds minor. It is seismic. Because when action ties to identity instead of goals, failure stops being an option your brain even entertains. Every small decision becomes a vote for the person you are becoming, and your brain keeps a running tally. Miss a session at level 4, and it is not a skipped workout. It is a vote against your own name. The brain fights ferociously to stay consistent with how it sees itself. At level 4, that force finally works for you. People start calling you disciplined, intense, weirdly consistent. What they cannot see is that it stopped being effort long ago. Level 5, the compounding life. Now something starts happening that cannot be rushed, only earned. You have been consistent long enough that results generate motivation, which generates better habits, which generate better results. The loop feeds itself now. The body looks different. The mind cuts sharper. The work stands out in every room it enters. Even the bank account changes its relationship to your choices. Money stops leaking and starts pooling. People start asking for the secret. The honest answer is almost insulting. I did the same things, daily, longer than most are willing to. 1% better each day feels like absolutely nothing for months. That is why almost everyone quits inside the flat stretch. Then one day, you pass a window, catch your reflection, and the person looking back is unrecognizable from where you started. Level 6, the fear-free life. The thing that used to paralyze you simply does not have power anymore. Most people make their biggest decisions from fear, financial anxiety, social judgment, the quiet terror of starting over. They keep the job they hate. They never start the business. They never say the sentence they actually think. But you have kept thousands of small promises to yourself now, and that stack of kept promises becomes armor. You have proof you can handle difficulty, proof you can start over, proof that discomfort is temporary and survivable. The fear-free person still feels fear. They just no longer handed veto power over their life. They leave the job, they start the thing, they say the sentence out loud, and the world does not end. It opens. Level 7, free at 45. Almost nobody reaches it, because almost nobody believes it is actually on the menu. Here is what it looks like in concrete terms. He woke up this morning without an alarm. Not one was set. He worked on something he chose. His calendar belongs to him. His time answers to no one else's emergency. He is not free because he got lucky. While everyone negotiated with snooze buttons, he was quietly building. Every skipped impulse, every early morning, every hour spent building instead of consuming. It stacked. It compounded. And one day, the math simply started working in his favor. And it never stopped. So here is the question to sit with. Which level are you actually at? Not on your best week, on your average Tuesday. Because your average Tuesday is your life. Drop your honest level in the comments, not the aspirational one, the real one. The gap between you and level 7 is one daily decision made again and again. Subscribe. This conversation is just beginning.